Okay, back with Brendan Morgan again today. How are you, Brendan?
Very well.
Thanks for coming in. This is something that you've done fairly often for us. I just wanted to chew your ear a little bit today. We're going to talk about how to sell a powder coating business. You've sold some of the larger powder coating companies in Australia, and you sold quite a few of them. So it's a bit of a niche that you would understand well, that not many people would. So talk to us, if you will, just for a moment about different types of powder coating companies that you've sold, I guess different client bases, what the buyer interest has been like overall in that type of sector. How are they to sell?
Yeah, certainly. It's actually a type of business that I very much like. And for all the obvious reasons, is because they can be very profitable. You know, the service that powder coating offers other business and the general public is very specialised. You know, you certainly need the appropriate equipment, but very good margin when it comes to hours worked on servicing a customer's product. Of course, they come in all different shapes and sizes. Certainly, a lot of the smaller powder coaters that I've sold have been husband and wife operations with maybe 3 or 4 staff, and they do exceptionally well. You know, and there's a great demand for that type of business. Typically, they're Monday to Friday, which is attractive. They're not operating 7 days, and they can make very good money. You know, most buyers want to know that there's a secure lease there, secure tenancy for that type of business. But generally speaking, those businesses, there's a great demand for. Then we look at the bigger commercial powder coaters. Now, most of the time they have a significant investment in plant equipment, conveyor lines and so on. And they're generally selling to trade.
Environmental an issue if you can licenses and stuff.
Certainly, you know, they're dip tanks, you know, chromate tanks. They do need to be approved by local council, you know, with the appropriate bunding and so on. You know, they've got to have the appropriate filtration so that they can get rid of waste. Certainly something that an investor is going to consider, making sure that there's, you know, the appropriate investment in maintaining that type of licensing. But generally speaking, they're an easy operation, powder coaters. They don't necessarily employ trades. I've had powder coat business owners say to me that you know, they have a ready workforce in factory workers that can do most functions within their business. Of course, there's certainly some skilled functions there in spraying and so on, but generally speaking, they're an easy business to find employees for.
And talk about buying. Just sort of quickly finish with this. I know the last couple you've sold, even the larger ones, you've achieved offers over the asking price, almost started the bidding war for them. So the buyer demand, I mean, that's credit to how well you put things together, obviously, and how well you market it, but good demand in that sector overall for powder coating businesses, if they're good businesses, if they're profitable.
Absolutely. Look, I think most investors, regardless of whether it's a powder coating business or not, they're looking at the vendor contribution that has to be applied to, you know, derive the net profit that their accountant's looking at, you know, and it's important to them. And even in the larger scale powder coaters, the vendor contribution in most cases is very reasonable. You know, it's usually Monday to Friday, and they're overseeing their staff, and you know, it's rather pleasant. It's indoors. Yeah. Sometimes in Queensland it can get a little bit hot, of course, because you're operating ovens, but generally speaking, there's a big demand for it. Also, our delivery system makes a difference. When I say delivery system, the way that we market things and do virtual tours so that our buyer can actually understand and see from any corner of the globe. You know, just last week I've had 2 gentlemen actually fly from Auckland, New Zealand to look at a business that I'm selling on the Sunshine Coast. And they did that on the backbone of, a virtual inspection and interviews with that owner. That was enough for them to get straight on that plane, and actually they put an offer in the second day they were here. So, that does make a difference.
Well, thanks, Brendan. We could talk about powder coating all day. I just wanted to do a brief introduction. If anyone has a powder coating business, they're thinking of selling it, I think Brendan would be happy to take a call and talk you through that process. You can find Brendan's contact details on morganbusinesssales.com on the website. Thank you, Brendan, for coming in today. I appreciate having you here for the chat. We'll talk to you again soon.
Happy to give any prospective seller some feedback on what they could expect if they wanted to go to market.
Awesome. Thanks heaps, Brendan. Cheers, mate.